Game week is finally here for the Alabama Crimson Tide. If you are like us, you are excited, even if it is a cupcake matchup to begin the season. So scale your excitement level for college football and Alabama football being back by voting in the comment section right now. 1 to 10 is your scale. Go vote right now. We will begin where else but with the quarterback battle, which I am still unconvinced will be decided by week 1, although I do want to know who starts the game, and we don't really know. Now, last week, Nick Saban had said that the quarterback battle was, quote, sort of taking shape to some degree. What shape was that taking? You sure as hell know that Nick Saban's not going to tell us. It has been a 3-man race. Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner, and the very, very brief hype of Dylan Lonergan, who I think maybe we'll see for 4 games this year and still maintain that red shirt moving forward. Milroe's, we've been over this a lot, but I'll recap it again since, new audience, excitement going on, right? Jalen Milroe is your dual threat. More experience in this or with this team. Ty Simpson is among the more highly touted recruiting group or of this bunch, I should say, has barely played, was 4 of 5 last year in that 4 games to maintain the red shirt, but might have the better upside of these 3. Tyler Buchner is the transfer, who was never going to beat out Sam Hartman. As we saw, if you watched Notre Dame play, Sam Hartman was really good in that game because he's just better than Tyler Buchner is, but also played under Tommy Rees at Notre Dame, has had issues taking care of the football and making good decisions. Here's what Nick Saban said today on Jalen Milroe. Quote, Jalen has made a significant amount of improvement. He is more comfortable in the pocket. I think he has more confidence in the way he executes and plays. He's been more consistent in the way he's played, and I think that's going to be the key drill for him. To be able to maintain that consistency so that he is developing the kind of habits that are going to carry over into the game and help him be successful. Now, Saban, after a while, I don't know who's actually going to get that asked about at the press conference. Everyone was not kind of asking about the QBs there. He was asked, do you expect to use multiple QBs, or is there a game plan for whoever is the starter? It's Middle Tennessee. The expectations are to win pretty easily. There's some balancing of playing your starters, getting work, prepping for Texas involved there. Here's what Saban said when asked about playing multiple quarterbacks. I don't have any expectations for that right now. We're going one day at a time, and we're repping the players, and even regardless of what happens in this game, just because whoever starts in the first game, that doesn't mean that you don't have to continue to compete and play throughout the season, because the competition doesn't end with the first game at any position, including quarterback. So my expectation is what can we do to get them better today so that we can play better the next day and the next day and the next day, and when the game comes, we'll be playing as well as we need to be playing to create value for themselves as players as well as our team to be able to have success. To put that into non-coach speak, quit asking. Saban didn't really reveal anything. Those are a lot of words to say, we're going to get them better. That's really all he said. Saban is going to try as hard as possible to not reveal. He did not reveal the depth chart either, by the way, which he doesn't like depth charts, which I respect because they're annoying. I have no complaints about that one. It is not going to be decided, I think, even after week 1, who the starter is. It might change later on in the year. But pick a QB to be the starter when it matters the most and as things wind down. TS for Ty Simpson, JM for Jalen Milroe, TB for Tyler Buchner. It is today's pinned comment, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. On our last video, we looked at some of the trench play. Let's look now at some of the back-end play, the linebackers, the off-ball linebackers, and the secondary too. Our projected depth chart, knowing things, there will be rotations, etc. Deontay Lawson, Jihad Campbell. Other players to monitor, Tresman Marshall, I think, is probably your 3rd linebacker. And ideally, outside of garbage time games, not many others getting reps at the position. Here's what Nick Saban said on the linebacker room. Deontay Lawson played really good football when he played last year. He sat out the spring, got his knee worked on. He had a really good summer. He has good leadership and a good understanding of the defense. Jihad Campbell has made really good progress. Lawson has flashed. Now, I will say I've seen some I'm not gonna drag anyone. I've seen Lawson could be, one of the best linebackers ever off ball at Alabama, and I'm like, guys, we have to relax. I am not asking for non-criminal version of Reuben Foster, of Rolando McClain out there. I'm just asking for, be a good starter, and I think that'll be a really great outcome for the Bama defense. What I'm very intrigued by is Jihad Campbell, who, remember, was an edge recruit in last year's class. He was number 16 overall. He's now made the move to off-ball linebacker. Did play a little bit last year, just the one tackle, flash having a sack in the A-Day spring game. I'm excited to see Campbell out there. Curious how it all plays out. But I do feel okay about this linebacking room, although maybe not as good as what it's been in years past. Now, you guys can get a custom Alabama football jersey by going to chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. 25% off custom ones, or you can get some of the throwback jerseys, the historic player jerseys, like Bryce Young, for example. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. Go check it out if you haven't got one already. In general, the linebacker production relative to the normal expectations for any position group at Alabama has lagged a little bit. You bring in Henry To'oTo'o as a transfer. He was fine. He got drafted, but the goal was to have a first-round pick at every position group, right? I don't know if Bama has that right now. I'd like to see him be a bit more aggressive. The defense is going to have to play a key role this upcoming year. And even though off-ball linebackers become less and less valuable, and that star position becomes even more so with, out of an accident, Brian Branch was, I would argue, one of your best players in all of college football last year. Henry To'oTo'o was okay. He was never like a disastrous liability. He was never a high-end impact like this guy might be a first-round pick conversation. Never kind of materialized that way. And while that works more than good enough for most programs, this is Alabama. Vanderbilt, sorry to throw shade there, Commodores. Vanderbilt and Henry To'oTo'o would be like, he's their best defensive player in a long time. For Alabama, he's just okay. You need more than that for the Crimson Tide. So grade the linebackers the past 2 years. A, B, C, D, or F. You can be honest with me, but sound off in the comments section with how you grade the Bama linebacking core in recent years. Quick injury note, then we'll get more in depth here to the secondary. Devonta Smith has been out with a foot injury. Head coach Nick Saban says he thinks that he'd be in the mix if he were healthy. He is not, which does put some question marks into this secondary room. So your corners, I feel pretty good, are going to be Terrion Arnold or Trey Amos. If Bama did their depth charts today, which I know how much Saban hates, I think there's a good chance there'd be the or by Arnold and Amos. Kool-Aid McKinstry is obviously going to be your number one corner. It's then the safety spot plus star, knowing you'll probably play 3 of those guys in most scenarios. Sometimes you go base, whatever you want to star. But Malachi Moore can play safety or star. I think he's going to be one of your top 5 DBs out there. Jalen Key, I think, has drawn some praise and some buzz of late from this coaching staff. Christian Story's probably your other top guy there. So there's 4 players. Key and Moore can kind of both play safety star. I think Downs, who's going to start for you as a true freshman, by the way. Story are key pieces. Then I'd say Earl Little's your 4th corner. If you had to, I think you could give Malachi Moore or Key reps there on the outside, but you probably don't want to. So you have your 3 outside guys, McKinstry, Arnold, Amos. You have your 2, I'll call them nickel guys, basically, Moore and Key. And then your more typical safeties, Downs and Story, knowing that your nickel guys can rotate outside. So from a math perspective there, you're talking about you probably go 8 deep enough in the secondary. As long as there aren't injuries, you should be okay. Or now you see why Alabama went out and got 2 transfers, right? What I am excited to see most on this defense beyond my presumed Dallas Turner breakout season is going to be the impact play of Kool-Aid McKinstry. If you are subscribed to our Chat Sports YouTube channel or NFL Draft channel, you will see a mock draft coming out in the coming days that features Kool-Aid McKinstry as the first corner taken. That's who I think he will. That's what I think will end up being. Although I do like Kalen King out of Penn State too. So is Kool-Aid McKinstry with the greatest name in cornerback history? I'm a big believer in the name theory. Good name, you feel confident, you'll play well. That's McKinstry to a T. Is he a first-round lock? Y for yes, N for no. I do not think Malachi Moore, meanwhile, will be a first-round pick, but I do think he'll end up getting drafted. I mean, we've seen DeMarco Hellams get drafted, who I thought he was fine for Alabama. Actually played really well in the preseason for Atlanta, which is kind of crazy to think about there. I think Moore is a little bit better than Hellams, and I would wonder if maybe he's a better fit in the star role than further deep at safety. We'll see what Alabama does in week 1 and beyond. Make sure you guys are subscribed at youtube.com/@RollTideTV.